Hello, good afternoon all of you. We are here to learn a very important topic in pragmatics, and that is nothing but speech act theory. You know that this topic is very important. The question is always asked on this topic, and that is nothing but pragmatics, and this topic is always asked by the examiner, that is the speech act theory. You know that speech act theory was originally proposed by J.L. Austin in his very important book. J.L. Austin, in his very important book, How to Do Things with the Words. How to do things with the words. Things with words. How to do things with words. So speech act theory was originally proposed by J.L. Austin in his book How to Do Things with the Words. Actually, J.L. Austin was of the opinion that there are some certain verbs which are known as a performative because they do some certain kind of action. So according to him, what is a speech act? He has given the definition of speech act, or what is the speech act? So speech act means an action is performed. An action is performed. Action is performed via utterance. Via utterance is known as a speech act. An action is performed via utterance is known as a speech act. So some certain verbs, so certain typical verbs or typical utterances are subjected to do some certain kind of action. For example, if any priest says, "Now I pronounce you the husband and wife," then that husband and wife become the lawful husband and wife. Or if any umpire says to the sports person, "You are out," then he is out. Or any person having the power like a military officer, colonel, lieutenant said fire, then the situation gets changed. That is why this is known as the speech act theory. But this speech act theory is divided into three acts by J.L. Austin, and these three acts are Locutionary Act, Illocutionary Act, and Perlocutionary Act. So these three acts are known as, that is the first act is known as a Locutionary Act. So what is the Locutionary Act? Locutionary Act means in which the basic sentence pattern is given. The basic linguistic expression is produced. When the speaker is able to speak certain words, then and then only this act is possible. For this act, the speaker must have knowledge of the language and the hearer must know the speaker's language. For example, so this is the linguistic expression or correct linguistic expression. Linguistic expression. Or this act is about the certain things or the situation. We can say the situation or fact. Situation, or it tells about the fact. For example, if the sentence is it's cold in here, this expression tells her the Locutionary Act of this situation is that this is the fact that there is the cold. Here is the cold. So this is the Locutionary Act. So Locutionary Act requires the language, both the speaker and the hearer must know each other's language. And if that speaker is not able to speak that language, then this act is not possible. For this act, it requires correct linguistic expressions. The speaker must be able to produce some utterance. Then second act is, that is the first is Locutionary Act. Second is, that is the Illocutionary Act. In Illocutionary Act, is some kind of the function. When the speaker speaks something, that time he has some kind of the function in his mind. He has some kind of the intention. All the sentences in the world are produced having some kind of intention. So in this act, this is the act of requesting, advising, or we can say threatening, or some kind of the giving some kind of the permission, advice, and so and so. So in that act, this is the central act, and it has some kind of the function or kind of the intention in his mind. For example, if the same sentence is produced, that is the it's cold in here, means this is the giving indirect suggestion of that you can close the window. That is the it is closed. It is a cold in here, means you can close the window, or you can bring a sweater, so that you will not get a cold. You won't get cold. So it's cold in here. This is the fact. And third act is known as a perlocutionary act. So you know that what is the perlocutionary act? Perlocutionary act is produced to have effect on the hearer. That is the effect on hearer. Effect on hearer means whether, for example, this sentence, for example, it's cold in here. This same sentence, that is the whether hearer heard the listener, whether the hearer heard speaker's words, and whether he closed the window, or whether he closed the door, or whether he brought the sweater or not. Means whatever he has some kind of the persuasion, or what kind of the effect. And this perlocutionary act becomes successful only when the hearer obeys the speaker, or hearer pays attention to the speaker and does some certain kind of action. Or the similar example is that the lata bucket. For example, locutionary act lata bucket means lata, your bucket is, suppose there is a tap, there is a water tap, public water tap, and there is a scarcity of the water, and lata is standing in the row, and her bucket is put for the collecting water, but lata is not attentive of the fact that her bucket is filled up with water, and someone in the row shouts at lata that lata, your bucket, means your bucket is filled up with water. So for this act, lata, your bucket is filled up with water, you can remove it so that others can collect water. And for this effect is, that is the whether lata paid attention to the speaker, and whether lata left her bucket and allowed others to collect water or not. So this is the effect. So thank you, students. I try to simplify this speech act theory, which was given by Joel Austin in his book How to Do Things with the Words. Thank you.